This is a short video about the Zenith 26HZ left-handed bronze carburetor on a Humber 928. It's for Camel in the Czech Republic, and I hope you find this useful. This is the carb actually on our car, but I've got another Zenith which I'll take to pieces and use for a demonstration on that for you. This is a Zenith 30 HAS bronze carburetor. But the principles still apply, just the same as on the 26HZ on the 928 Humber. The first thing I'd look at is to check that the float chamber level is not too high. That can happen with wear. So I'll just remove the clip, take the float chamber top off for a minute, flip it over. Couldn't make it up, could you? Right, there we go. That's the float, which is, shall we say, double-sided. You can use both sides of it. You can see the wear rings. It's been inside out and upside down in this carburetor a few times by the look of it. The other thing to do, of course, is check it in a bowl of petrol and see if it floats. And the other thing you can do is warm it up in some warm water and see if any bubbles come out. If you shake it and it's making slushy rattling noises, then you know it's probably punctured. There is a guy in the UK that makes new floats of a similar ilk, and I have bought and fitted one if you need one. But if your car's already running, it's not very likely that's going to be the problem. What does happen with these is, if you look, you can see there are a couple of flats of worn on these little levers. So when the float comes up and it lets fuel in, and those little arms hit the top of the float, and then as the float rises, it pushes the arms on that little job, and the needle at the end of there actually finds its place in the seating at the bottom of there and shuts off the fuel. Now these are, as you can see, there's the wear marks there, but these can be reversed. So if you look, they haven't ever been reversed. They're actually quite shiny. They're clean, but they haven't got a flat on them. So you can take those out and reverse them, and that puts the float level back to where it is. Bear in mind, the float chamber level is it's pretty damn critical. If you get it too low, you get starvation and stuttering and the like. And if it's too high, obviously it'll run too rich. And it only takes a few thou difference. The fuel level has got to be just about, 5 or 10 thou below the main jet. Unfortunately, the only adjustment you've got is these two arms and a new float. It is possible, of course, given that your car's 90 odd years old, that there might be some rubbish and the like in the main jet and the pilot jet. But what we'll do, we'll fetch them out anyway, so you can see how things operate with that. I'll just undo this. Okay, so that's one. That's the other. So that is your main jet, that's your pilot jet. Now looking at that, you'll see there are different size holes. The main jet being considerably smaller, and the pilot jet is the bigger one, which seems a bit counterintuitive, but that's generally the way that they are. And when this is on the car, when your carb is on the car, of course it's like that. And you want to get to this lot, and you want to clean the jets out while it's on the car upside down, because I've had that. We've had bad petrol or whatever muck going around. So what you do is you get in focus. That's a quarter drive 10mm socket. Okay, so we want the square end to undo the jet, and then all I do is just a bolt. It's a M5 bolt with 2 nuts and some blue tack or plasticine in the bottom, so you can then put that up inside while it's still on the car. I just want to get the angle right, and then you can unscrew it with a little quarter drive ratchet or another spanner upside down whilst in situ on the car, which is it helps a lot, that does. So we'll just fetch this one out. So this is the, you can say that there, I'm not used to doing this. So right, there we are. So that is now what I would call the pilot jet. Okay, so you see there, although it's got a big hole on the back, it's quite a small hole on the front. Okay, so that's that one. Then we fetch out the main jet. Come on, you want to come out. Here we go, and that's the main jet. Oops, which is all one piece. I did find one of these with some wire wool jammed up the inside of here to act as a bit of a filter. Whether that was original fit or not, I do not know. So I fetched the wire wool out. We've never had a blockage there, never a problem with that. So that basically then is the underside, and then you can just about see in there, I can use that as a pointer, the other end of the pilot jet assembly. Okay, which is about the only thing that, other than the throttle stop screw, that is adjustable on these carburetors. So we'll turn that over. There we are. Lovely round old thumb nut, beloved of clockmakers, that sort of thing. It's gorgeous. So we just undo that. Okay. And there's 2 sets of holes in this. Okay. Here we go. So that's your, what I call your pilot jet adjuster. Okay. So we got holes there, and you've got corresponding holes in the jet tube, which you'll see shortly. So that's that. Okay. Now, this is held, there's a peg on that goes into a slot in the body of the carburetor. So we turn it over and we just give it a poke. I'm just giving it a knock with a nice blunt ended drift, only gentle, and out it comes. Okay, so as I say, be aware you've got that sort of built-in keyway, and very cleverly it's got again a little tiny key in there that goes in there, so to get it in the right orientation. So when you're winding, when you've got that in there, sorry if this is all a bit wibbly, but anyway, when you've got that in there, you can take this right down. Okay, right, that's finger tight. Right, it's right down the bottom of there now, because there's a believe it or not, there is a jet in there, tiny little jet. And then what you're doing, you're controlling, as far as I can work out, the fuel flow to that jet. All right, so what I do is, as a starting point, is wind it all the way down, and then we'll put it back together, and you wind it out about 2 turns. Okay, So that then puts this one, because you're also infringing that there. There's a jet number, by the way, on here. This carburetor didn't come off a car. It came off a pre-war road roller, would you believe? But I saw it at a I saw it at an auto jumble. I thought I've got to have that because the bits for these are like hen's teeth. So anyway, so that's how that comes out. So really, it's a case of let's put it back together, and I'll go out to the car. So here we are. That's an idea, isn't it? Two carburetors, twin carbs. I doubt it'd make much difference to her. So basically, what I've done is I have backed that lock nut off. Okay, wound that right in as far as it'll go, and then you see this is actually on the car, of course, and that's where ours is set at the moment. Okay, so what I do as a starting point is it's wound fully home. Make sure that nut is home against there, and go half a turn, one turn, half a turn, and start from there. So that's at 1.5 turns out. And then if I can't hold enough, you can just see, can you? Yeah, you can just see the gap there, which is probably 0.5 mil in the Napoleonic measurements, something like that. And then I would lock that down just with your fingers to start with, and then actually try the car. Now the thing is, if it's too lean, it'll go, but then it'll start to cough and spit, and I don't know, all sorts. You've got to get the engine hot. Don't try adjusting this when it's stone cold. You've got to get to the point of getting the engine hot. So you use your hand throttle and whatever, just to get it, hold it there, get it good and warm, and don't try doing it cold, because you'll never reproduce it again. And then what I do is, from that starting point, I then drive the car. If you can find a moderate slope, I adjust it, you know, sort of adjust there if you like. 1/16 or 1/8 of a turn in or out from that position, and keep going until they get smooth acceleration, a reasonable tick over, without it going or coughing and banging. You'll soon know. It's probably, if it is running rich, this is probably where your problem lies. That's probably a bit too far out. I mean, if you look on ours, I've probably got 3 threads showing, so I'll give you a starting point. The other thing, of course, is you are talking about what was produced as a precision instrument that's now 90 odd years old, and it's not impossible that the jets in the bottom are worn or have been changed by somebody in the last 90 years. So I'll see if I can find you some details on jet numbers. Okay, well, I hope that helps. As I say, this is the one to tweak to just get your initial. This works from tick over to about 1/4 throttle, thereabouts. Okay, hope you found this interesting. I'll be in touch.